The year is 2467 and Rocket League esports has changed. It is the 457th RLCS season and they have kept the same logo. Rocket League esports has actually evolved past gameplay and is now a physical sport, where instead of playing car soccer, you battle to the death in a post-apocalyptic arena. I've used a website to simulate what this would look like. Let's get right into it. And here we have the contestants. In District 1 we have Kronovi and Lachinio in Team iBuyPower. In District 2 we have Justin and Squishy in Team Mechanics. In District 3 we have Gibbs and Lola in Team Analysis. In District 4 we have Avampel and Fire in Team Pulse. In District 5 we have JHZER and MK in Team Freestyler, which is kind of the same thing as Team Pulse, but I wanted to have all 4 of the players in there. In District 6 we have Team Female, because we need to represent. We've got Karma and Widow. In District 7 we've got Musty and Sunlesskhan in Team YouTuber. In District 8 we've got John and Waffles in Team F2. In District 9 we've got JHZER and KDOP in Team K. I don't really know. In District 10 we have Turbo and Garrett in Team GOAT. In District 11 we have Floomp and Scrubkiller in Team... I have no clue what the reasoning was for this team. And in District 12 we have Pikapixel and XYZ in Team Items. With all of the teams being announced, let's proceed. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. MK, JHZER, JHZER and Floomp share everything they gathered before running. Gibbs, Turbo, XYZ and Fire also share everything they've gathered before running. Pikapixel runs away from the cornucopia. Widow runs away from the cornucopia. Justin runs away from the cornucopia. Karma runs away from the cornucopia. Lola and Musty fight for a bag. Lola gives up and retreats, so Musty has a bag. Sunlesskhan stays at the cornucopia for resources. Scrubkiller runs away from the cornucopia. Waffles stabs KDOP while his back is turned. I think that might be the first death. Squishy grabs a backpack, not realizing it is empty. Poor Squishy. Lachinio runs away from the cornucopia. Kronovi snatches a bottle of alcohol and a rag. Jonsandman tries to retrieve a trident from inside the cornucopia. Avampel clutches a first aid kit and runs away. And Garrett G gathers as much food as he can. Proceed. Day 1. Garrett G diverts MK's attention and runs away. Gibbs goes hunting. Fire defeats Lola in a fight but spares his life. Justin explores the arena. Floomp sets Scrubkiller on fire with a Molotov. Oh my, Floomp's getting violent. JHZER tries to spearfish with a trident. Waffles and Kronovi hunt for other tributes. We've got the F2 G2 combo from back in the day. Musty runs away from Sunlesskhan. They're in the same team. Lachinio receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Squishy steals from Turbo Pulsar while he isn't looking. Oh my. He takes his spot in NRG and then he takes his items. JHZER, Karma and Pikapixel unsuccessfully ambush Widow, Jonsandman and Avampel, who kill them instead. That's 3 deaths right there. And XYZ questioning his sanity. Proceed. Fallen Tributes 1. 5 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. KDOP, Scrubkiller, JHZER, Karma, and Pikapixel. Proceed. Avampel lets XYZ into his shelter. That's so kind. Amustycow bashes JHZER's head against a rock several times. That is not as kind. Kronovi stays awake all night. Lachinio and Widow talk about the tribute still alive. MK tries to sing himself to sleep. Garrett G and Floomp huddle for warmth. Turbo Pulsar and Fire run into each other and decide to truce for the night. Squishy looks into the night sky. Lola and Sunlesskhan tell stories about themselves to each other. Jonsandman and Justin hold hands. Good going, guys. Gibbs thinks about winning. Let's go, Gibbs. And Waffles stays awake all night. Proceed. Day 2. Floomp decapitates MK with a sword. MK was singing himself to sleep. And the next day, Floomp just goes full on off with your head mode. Squishy injures himself. Amustycow throws a knife into Lachinio's chest. I think so far Floomp and Musty are definitely the most violent out of all these players. XYZ, Jonsandman and Avampel start fighting, but Jonsandman runs away as XYZ kills Avampel. Gibbs catches Kronovi off guard and kills him. Turbo Pulsar searches for a water source. Fire, Lola, Widow and Justin raid Waffles' camp while he's hunting. Garrett G sprains his ankle while running away from Sunlesskhan. Proceed. 5 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. JHZER MK, Lachinio, Evanthal, and Kronovi. XYZ stays awake all night. Fire begs for Sunlesskhan to kill him. He refuses, keeping Fire alive. amustycow and Jonsandman tell stories about themselves to each other. Gibbs goes to sleep. Squishy receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Garrett G convinces Floomp to snuggle with him. Wuffles and Widow hold hands. Justin and Lola hold hands. Justin's just holding hands with everyone. And Turbo Pulsar goes to sleep. Proceed. Day 3. amustycow, Widow, and Justin hunt for other tributes. Jonsandman steals from Squishy while he isn't looking. Floomp sprains his ankle while running away from XYZ. Garrett G picks flowers. Wuffles tries to sleep through the entire day. Fire sprains his ankle while running away from Gibbs. Lola picks flowers. Sunlesskhan goes hunting. And Turbo Pulsar practices his archery. No cannon shots can be heard in the distance. This is the first day without any deaths. Proceed. XYZ stays awake all night. Is that again? Squishy, Gibbs, Justin, and Sunlesskhan sleep in shifts. Wuffles is awoken by nightmares. Oh no. Floomp tries to sing himself to sleep. Turbo Pulsar kills Fire for his supplies. Oh my. Widow thinks about winning. Garrett G loses sight of where he is. He really needs his glasses. amustycow receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Of course he does. Lola sees a fire but stays hidden. And Jonsandman quietly hums. Proceed. Day 4. Lola questions his sanity. Widow sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. Garrett G makes a slingshot. Squishy chases Gibbs. A musty shooting an arrow into XYZ's head. Oh my. Musty's out for the blood. Wuffles thinks about home. Floomp scares Jonsandman off. Sunlesskhan repeatedly stabbing Justin to death with says. Turbo Pulsar hunts for upper tributes. Proceed. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Fire, XYZ, and Justin. Proceed. Wuffles passes out from exhaustion. Lola tends to Widow's wounds. Sunlesskhan quietly hums. amustycow begs for Floomp to kill him. He reluctantly obliges, killing Musty. That's like the biggest killer of the game, just out. Turbo Pulsar, Jonsandman, Garrett G, and Squishy tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood, and Gibbs cries himself to sleep. He really went from thinking about winning to crying himself to sleep. Poor Gibbs. Proceed. Day 5. Squishy tries to spearfish with a trident. Garrett G tries to spearfish with a trident. Turbo Pulsar goes hunting. Again. Lola injures himself. Floomp makes a slingshot. Widow searches for firewood. Gibbs shoots a poisonous blow dart into Jonsandman's neck, slowly killing him. Sunlesskhan chases Wuffles. Proceed. 2 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Musty and John. They're gone. That rhymed. Proceed. Wuffles and Squishy sleep in shifts. Lola thinks about home. Gibbs convinces Garrett G to snuggle with him. Sunlesskhan attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. Floomp looks at the night sky. Widow tends to Turbo Pulsar's wounds. Proceed. The feast. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Floomp decides not to go to the feast. Squishy decides not to go to the feast. Lola's trap kills Widow. Lola's got a kill. Sunlesskhan decides not to go to the feast. Turbo Pulsar decides not to go to the feast. Gibbs shoots an arrow at Garrett G, but misses and kills Wuffles instead. I mean, he got a kill. Task failed successfully. Proceed. Day 6. Floomp runs away from Sunlesskhan, and Turbo Pulsar, Gibbs, Garrett G, Squishy, and Lola hunt for other tributes. Proceed. 2 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Widow and Wuffles. RIP. Proceed. Squishy receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Turbo receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Sunlesskhan sees a fire, but stays hidden. Garrett G goes to sleep. Floomp goes to sleep. Gibbs receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Lola attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. Proceed. Day 7. Garrett G receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Gibbs tends to Turbo Pulsar's wounds. Floomp travels to higher ground. Squishy and Lola work together for the day, and Sunlesskhan searches for firewood. Proceed. No cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Day 7 has been completed. We are now 1 week into the Hunger Games. Proceed. Lola tries to treat his infection. Squishy quietly hums. Gibbs is awoken by nightmares. Garrett G thinks about winning. Sunlesskhan climbs a tree to rest, and Turbo Pulsar spears Floomp in the abdomen. Oh my, Turbo taking out Floomp, probably one of the more dangerous competitors. Proceed. Day 8. Squishy attempts to climb a tree but falls to his death. That's how Squishy dies? Okay. Turbo Pulsar falls into a frozen lake and drowns. 2 people just die by accident. Oh my. Lola goes hunting. Sunlesskhan runs away from Garrett G. Gibbs falls into a pit and dies. There's 3 people this day with accidental deaths. Proceed. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Floomp, Squishy, Turbo, and Gibbs. I really thought that Gibbs was going to win this. Proceed. Garrett G and Sunlesskhan hold hands, and Lola tries to sing himself to sleep. Proceed. Day 9. Sunlesskhan scares Garrett G off, and Lola receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. It seems like these are the only 3 people left in the game. Proceed. No cannon shots can be heard in the distance. I have a feeling that we're going to get onto some of the final rounds now. Proceed. Lola climbs a tree to rest. Sunlesskhan attempts to climb a tree but falls to his death. And Garrett G bleeds out due to untreated injuries. Lola wins! The winner is Lola from District 3. Congratulations to Lola for winning this totally realistic Hunger Games with a 1 kill on the board. Lots of accidental deaths. I think there was like 5 in the last 2 days or something. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys want to make a Hunger Games simulation yourself, I'll have a link to the website in the description below. If you did end up enjoying this video, it was a bit of a different video, but it was quite fun. But yeah, that is the end of the video, so make sure to hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Peace.